code and see if we can't refine it a bit more by adding in some additional functionality that we get with modules like the sys module. One of the things I don't love about this version of the code, even though arguably it is now correct, is that the essence of my program, which is just to print out the name tag, is kind of relegated to this else clause. And that's fine. Logically, it's correct. But generally speaking, there's something nice about keeping all of your error handling separate from the code that you really care about. Having all of these ifs, elifs, perhaps at the top of your code that are checking to make sure that all of the data is as expected. But then it would be nice, if only for design's sake, not to sort of hide in this else statement the actual code that you care about. I would prefer, for instance, to do something logically like this. I could check for errors up top, and then down here, print the name tags. It would be nice if those are sort of distinct blocks of code, all of which are here left aligned. But there's a problem with what I've just done here. Logically, what bug did I just introduce by getting rid of the else and introducing line 10 on its own with no indentation outside of the conditional? What bug have I just introduced? What mistake, to be clear?
Name error.
Ironically, it's a name error, but not a name error exception. It's an error with my name, but I think you're frozen for me. It's going to raise an exception because even though I'm checking the length of sys.argv up top, and even though I'm checking it again for being greater than 2, not just less than 2, but greater, I'm still then blindly and incorrectly assuming it's now going to exist. So just to be clear, if I run python of name.py and I don't type any arguments, I've got too few, I think I'm going to see that I have too few, but I'm also going to see that same exception. At the very top of my terminal Windows output, there's any arguments. I've got too few. I think I'm going to see that I have too few, but I'm also going to see that same exception. At the very top of my terminal Windows output, there's my error message, too few arguments. But again, on line 10, I blindly proceed to still index into my list at location 1, which does not exist. So it turns out there's a better way to handle errors like this, especially if you're writing a program in Python that's just meant to run briefly and then exit anyway. But maybe we could start to exit prematurely if the program itself just can't proceed. If the user has not given us the data we want, perhaps we should just exit the program earlier than we might otherwise. So let me go ahead and do this. Let me go ahead and remove my comments so as to focus only on the code here. And let me propose that instead of just printing quote unquote too few arguments, I'm going to use one other function that comes with the sys module. I'm going to go ahead and call sys.exit. And as the name suggests, it's going to do exactly that. With the system's help, it's going to exit my program then and there on line 4. Why is that OK? Well, if you gave me too few arguments, I have nothing more to say to you, the user. I might as well exit a bit prematurely. And I can do this as well on line 6. Let's go ahead and not just print that, but sys.exit, quote unquote, too many arguments. Print out that message and just exit right there. Now I can trust that by the time I get to line 8, every error condition has been checked for, and so it's safe for me to assume that there is, in fact, an item at location 1 in sys.argv. So let me go ahead now and run this. Python of name.py, enter, too few arguments. But I'm back at my prompt. Nothing more has happened. Let me run it again. Python of name.py, David Malin with no quotes, enter. Too many arguments is now printed here. Finally, Python of name.py, just David, enter. Hello, my name is David. So we have then in sys 2 forms of functionality now. We have access to this variable, sys.argv, this argument vector that gives me all of the words that were typed at the prompt, including the program's own file name. And it turns out, if we read further in the documentation, there's an exit function that can take different types of inputs. But if I pass it a string like this, it will indeed print that string for me and then exit from my program then and there. Questions now on exiting from programs like this. To be clear, all of this time, once Python gets to the bottom of your file, it's going to exit anyway. So I'm using sys.exit now just to make sure that I exit earlier than otherwise.
My question is about the sys.arg
argv. So is that capable of accepting or taking multiple elements at once? Let's say, for example, Python name.py David Mallon. I'm a male, 20 years old. And if, let's say, I only want to access your name, which is at the first index, and then your age is say at the sixth index, can I say sys.rv1 and another one for six to access what I just want? Is that possible for sysrv?
Short answer, yes, I think, if I understand your question correctly, whereby you're proposing to have many words at the end of the command and you want to access those individual words. Absolutely. At some point, it gets a little fragile, I would say, if you're typing so many words at the prompt that the order really matters. And so it turns out there's a lot of programs and there's functionality in Python that can allow you to provide those values like name or age or any number of other fields in any order you want, but pass in a bit more information textually that tells the program how you want to use it. So in short, what you're describing is possible. And let me do a small incarnation of it as follows. Let me propose that we go back to my code here. And let's propose that we actually now want to support multiple values at the prompt. So there's going to be no such thing as too many arguments. Suppose that I want to generate name tags not just for David, but for David, for Carter, for Rongxin, for others in the group who all want their name tags as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to get rid of my elif condition because I don't want to limit the maximum number of words that are typed at the prompt anymore. I instead want to iterate over every name at the prompt. So I'm going to say this. For arg in sys.argv, go ahead and print out, this time, arg. So what am I doing here? Well, even though the syntax is a little different, the idea is the same as before when we've had loops. I'm using a for loop to iterate over a list. The list in question here is sys.argv. Arg is a variable that I'm creating on the fly. The for loop is going to make sure that the first time through this loop, arg is set to the first word on the command line. The second time through the loop, Python's going to make sure that arg is now set to the second thing on the command line, and so forth. That's just how a for loop works. It updates the variable for us. I don't have to call it arg. I could call it name, so long as I change it to name in both places. But arg is reasonable if I'm iterating over arguments more generally. If I now run this program, though, unfortunately, there's a little bit of a bug. Even if I type in David and Carter and Rongxin, I'm not going to get just 3 name tags. In your mind, does anyone see the bug I'm about to trip over? It's not a huge deal if I've got enough name tags to go around, but I'm going to be wasting one because this is going to print not 3 but 4 name tags, whereby the first contains the name of the program itself. Maybe not a big deal. Maybe that's the sticker we don't bother handing out, but it's wasteful and it does look wrong. So how could we get access to not all 4 elements of argv, but just a slice of argv? And this is actually a technical term. In Python and some other languages, to take a slice of a list means to take a subset of it. Maybe from the beginning, maybe the middle, maybe the end. But a slice is a subset of a data structure like a list. Well, how do I actually do this in code? Well, in Python, it's actually very easy to take a slice of a list, that is a subset thereof. You can simply do this. At the end of the list name, sys.argv in this case, you can use square brackets. And then in those square brackets, you can specify the start and the end. Going to get just 3 name tags. In your mind, does anyone see the bug I'm about to trip over? It's not a huge deal if I've got enough name tags to go around, but I'm going to be wasting one because this is going to print not 3 but 4 name tags, whereby the first contains the name of the program itself. Maybe not a big deal. Maybe that's the sticker we don't bother handing out, but it's wasteful and it does look wrong. So how could we get access to not all 4 elements of argv, but just a slice of argv? And this is actually a technical term. In Python and some other languages, to take a slice of a list means to take a subset of it. Maybe from the beginning, maybe the middle, maybe the end. But a slice is a subset of a data structure like a list. Well, how do I actually do this in code? Well, in Python, it's actually very easy to take a slice of a list, that is a subset thereof. You can simply do this. At the end of the list name, sys.argv in this case, you can use square brackets. And then in those square brackets, you can specify the start and the end of the list that you want to retain. I want to start at element 1, not 0. I want to start at element 1, and I want to just go to the end. So I'm actually going to omit a second number altogether. It's not necessary to have a second number, but I do need that colon because this is going to give me a slice of the list. It's going to give me a slice of the list that starts at location 1, not 0. And the colon and then a blank just means it's going to give me everything else. So this is equivalently going to slice off the first element of the list and give me a new list that contains just those 3 human names, not the name of the file itself. Let me try running this again. I'm going to run Python of name.py, David, Carter, Rongshin. This time, hopefully, I'm going to get 3 and only 3 name tags. Hitting enter, and indeed, I've done now just this. So again, using some relatively simple syntax in Python, we can use square brackets not just to go to specific elements like bracket 0 or bracket 1. We can also get subsets of the list, slices of the list, by doing bracket something colon something, where each of those somethings is a number, the beginning or the end, and they're optional, depending on whether you want all of them or just some. Any questions now on this version, which adds the loop and these slices with that new syntax?
Can we slice starting from the end of the argument vector?
You can. You can slice something from the end of the argument vector, and this might blow one's mind a little bit. Let me go ahead and do this. Let's see. Let me go ahead and do -1 at the end, using a negative number here and running the same command. We've just uninvited Rongshin from receiving a name tag here. So if you use a negative number, it has the effect of counting to the in the other direction from the end of the list. A good question there. Other questions now on slices, on looping over sys.argv.
Hi. So I remember very early on when we were talking about only having 2 decimal places in float value. Does this is that in the same vein? Like because we use the colon point to f. So is that the same thing then? Why would the f be included then in the point to f as opposed to here when you just have the numbers?
A really good question, and it's just the short answer is that context matters. So there's only so many keys on our keyboard, and so we sometimes use the same symbols for different things. So what you're alluding to is the format code in F-string for actually formatting a number, using a colon, using a period, using a number, using the letter F, and so forth. And that is very specific to the F-string feature of Python. This case has nothing to do with any of that syntax per se. This is just using a colon in a different context to solve this problem, to implement a slice. The authors of Python could have chosen another symbol, but honestly, looking down at my keyboard here, we don't have that many to choose from that are easy to type, so sometimes they have different meanings. A good question as well. Allow me to propose now that we take things further and move away from using only those modules, those libraries that Python comes with, to talk about more generally packages that exist. One of